Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am AttiDude back in another video, and in today's video we're gonna be learning inheritance in C#. In the last video we learned about properties in C#. If you don't know what these are, make sure to check out our last video. If you want to watch other C# tutorials, then make sure you check the link in the description below, where I've shared a YouTube playlist, where you can watch each and every video of the C# playlist. Okay, so let's see. Inheritance. Inheritance can be of two types. A class can inherit from other class and an interface, or multiple interfaces. A struct can inherit from another struct and multiple interfaces. If you don't know interfaces, we'll talk about that in a later video, but now let's just focus on inheritance. One thing about inheritance is that a class or a struct can only inherit from one class or struct. For example, if we have some sort of car class, then it can only inherit from the car base class, then only one class, and the multiple interfaces. There's a limit for the inheritance from classes. Okay, but we can have multiple inheritance of interfaces. If you have ever used the Unity, then button scripting, you may know that we used to script buttons, custom buttons, and in that we use the on, pointer, down functions and mono behavior, the most important mono behaviors. If you don't know, if you're not using Unity, then leave it. And in the same way, we also inherit in C#. Okay, so we're just gonna delete these old things. Also delete from here. Okay, we have a class cleaned. This is a program class. I'm gonna name this car base. Okay, we can have some sort of renaming car base, or maybe just car. Okay, we have our car, and we now can define certain variables like, and I'm also gonna name this car class, and variables like some sort of strings, public string company or brand and model. Okay, that seems to be fine, just fine. And I think you should not do this here. I'm gonna remove this thing. Okay, and create a new button, add, and a new item, and that is gonna be of type class Visual C# items. Don't worry if it is Visual C#, because even C# is called Visual C#, and C++ is called Visual C++. I'm gonna remove name tags. You can just write using system and public class. I'm gonna name this program class. And here we can write a static function, public static void main string args, string array args, and that's our main function. And we're gonna create a new subclass, public class, maybe Benz, for Mercedes Benz, and this is gonna derive from the car class. Alt A, and there you go, you have car class. Here if you notice, it is C sharp, and here it is C underscore sharp. We don't want that to be happening, so you can just write this, and that seems to be fine, completely fine. We have Mercedes Benz, and we can define in more variables. If you don't want to define, it's okay. If you have ever used the Unity events or ever messed up with the default button script in Unity, then you may know that the events are derived from Unity event. Here we don't want anything, so just gonna do it like this. We can create a reference of this class, Benz class. Private, maybe public, Benz, my car, or maybe Mercedes Benz. And we can go right here. We can create an instance of the program class, not instance but a variable, local variable, program equals a new program, and there you go, program dot, you see now, Mercedes Benz, and it's a variable, right? As you see here, you can make it a property. Okay, it says at least one accessor. Get. We're just gonna have in a get accessor, and forget, we're gonna create a Benz, my Benz. We can return my Benz. Okay, and here we can write, and you see my Benz is also there, and that you see private variables because you're inside of this class, program class, and we're accessing the members of this class only. So you can see them here. You can write Mercedes Benz, maybe add in a set accessor set, and there you go, and here we can write my Benz equals to value program.Mercedes-Benz dot brand. We cannot do that now. We'll need to create the instance of this class right here. We can add Benz my car equals to new Benz my car dot brand equals to Mercedes, and my car dot model, no, not Tuesday, model equals to Benz. I don't know what model I have, but we have Benz. Okay, and then we can write program dot Mercedes-Benz equals to my car. It sounds a little bit complicated, but we can do it really easily because we have used properties. We cannot modify each and every value of that, but we can modify it all together. If we were to use my Benz, we can just dot brand equals to, and you can also have this okay. We can now remove this. Because we've used property, we need to do it a little bit more complex, but it's okay. So this way, you can see that we have not defined any variable here. Instead, we had defined variables right here. We can add in some more details like public, some sort of variable, maybe the date in which it was bought. You can write date time. Buying date. Okay. And we can modify that program.mybenz dot buying date equals to new date time. We can have these int year, month, day, maybe some sort of date like 15, I think. What was that? First of all, did it say to define me some? Yeah, int month, day, year, month, and day. Then you can write 2020, month to be maybe 5, day to be 27 maybe, and we should be printing these values. So we can do console dot writeLine program dot Mercedes-Benz. We're using property. You can even directly use the variable, but here you go. You have exception. Why didn't it close? Okay, I had some sort of exception. I don't know what it is, but we're gonna remove date time. You can add in some string. Program dot mybenz dot buying date equals to new string 2020 5/27, and that's it. I think we won't print because we need to add in some sort of, the program was null. Okay, I think that happens because we've changed the name of the class, but it's all fine. Why doesn't it do anything? I'm gonna remove this. We can write console.readALine to read a line. Still it says no reference exception. Oh dude, close it. I don't want output here. It says program was null. And I think that happens because program.myPens equals to new pens. We need to create the reference of that pens, and then I think we didn't got an issue. I think we're ready to get set. Pass in the program at Mercedes Benz. Hit play or run the program. You would see some weird things. That happens because this has gone ridiculous. We cannot print out directly the variable. We need to parse in some values for that, and hopefully we can do that. String parsed value equals to, first of all, we can write brand plus program.mercedes-benz.brand plus, add in a space, comma, maybe come here, space then, model plus program.mercedes-benz.model plus, comma, find date, maybe take it a little bit like this, plus program.mercedes-benz.find date. Okay, just gonna remove these unnecessary spaces, and when we run the program, it still gives us error because we've not put in this value. We can put in parsed value, and there we go. You get some form of JSON-like structure. We can just quickly do that like this. Plus, like this. Hit play, and there you go. You have JSON text available right here. And we can do a lot of things like this with inheritance. This was just a small demo. It can be really expanded. And one important thing, all of the variables that are named as public, that have access modifier as public or protected, will be accessed from the inherited member, else won't be accessed, because else remaining are private, and we know private cannot be accessed. In the later video, I'm gonna talk about access modifiers. So for today, we'll just keep it here. We'll not go ahead, and this is it for today, guys. If you haven't liked, share, subscribe my channel yet, do it now. I'll provide more content like this. I am AttiDude signing out.